when Sean takes the pedigree, he never jumps.
No.
He just lets him
just
That's it.
I'm worried about my trousers.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever, I'm joined to my left by Jack Chance.
Hello.
And Sam Chance.
Hello.
I chose not to say any nicknames that were linked to this podcast for obvious reasons.
Might need to cut that. Well, he says it.
Yeah, I suppose there is no way around getting
around this promo.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yes, we are on the road to Wrestlemania, and our first stop is to check out one of the high-profile matches from Wrestlemania 19 between Booker T and Triple H, and the angle around it. Have you enjoyed checking it out yet?
Well, bits, yeah, and bits now.
Yeah. Sam, you obviously you're a bit of a mark for 2003, so have you enjoyed
it? Towards the end, I mean, it was bad anyway. You know, there's so many ways you could have done this, and I went the wrong way.
Yeah. Pop, that's all I'm going to say.
But towards the end, it was just... I don't know, I tuned out of it.
Well, so did Booker, I think. But yes, we are going to be checking out, from around February, we'll be checking out WrestleMania, we'll be checking out the aftermath. How do they sort out the mess that they created at WrestleMania? Well, we'll get to that later on. WrestleMania 19 took place on March the 30th. I thought that was probably the best day to check because it is the main story arc. And on that day, UK number one, I would guess, 2003. Imagine what was on the TV around 2003.
2003.
A lot. And then it got boring.
Big Brother.
No, what was that? It was Gareth Gates with Spirit in the Sky.
It's still number one at this
Oh, well,
that's
the
Red Nose Day or something.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
that would have been about March. Yeah.
The Kumars. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, the Kumars were number one. US went with In The Club by 50 Cent.
50.
Now, we always mock Canada for being very predictable, so what do you think was number one?
It's going to be something...
Bryan Adams. No.
Shania Twain.
No. The other one.
The other Canadian. Who's the other Canadian?
French Canadian.
Oh, Celine Dion.
Yeah, I drove all night.
2003. Jesus Christ.
Because they only have Celine Dion and Bryan Adams and sometimes Shania Twain.
Is it like, there's probably like number 15 for all the rest of all Canadians? So it's like, you're number one, you're the highest Canadian.
And the Aussies proved that they were still the coolest country on the planet as they had tattoos, all the things she said.
Well, that had dropped off a little bit, I think, towards the end of 2002.
Yeah, but they love lesbianism in their...
We love a lesbian.
Another thing that constantly follows us on this podcast is the game release, which always seems to be Marvel v Capcom. It's Marvel v Capcom, New Age of Heroes. Number 2. I think it's number 2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
that the really rare
one. And that one. Again, I think it's a game you would have played, Jawbreakers by Not by Game Boy. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance.
Yes, there's the Game Boy.
Where you have to play as all three and move them around.
Yeah, you do on the PS2 one.
Yeah, but
slightly
it's easier on the PS2. PS3 you have to keep... Game Boy Advance you have to keep switching back.
Yeah, because they got
different. They just stay where you've left them.
Fucking hell.
They don't carry. You
But
have
they're
to
like
move
falling.
them.
You have to move them all
You
yourself.
have to switch
yeah.
and then move them, and they all have different abilities.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, that would be annoying.
Annoying
Jeff Horsfield scored a 90th minute winner
to keep us up.
against West Bromwich Albion for Birmingham as we
worst
lost.
day
1-0.
ever.
March 03, you went down that year.
Yeah. And Liverpool, of course, had no such worries, putting away Leeds a 3-1.
Oh, that's alright. I was waiting for like Derby or something, but
No,
I think
you
that
wait.
was in Division 1.
You wait till the WrestleMania 4 podcast, see him playing then.
Oh, hang on, 88 Derby.
Yeah,
It got to be somebody like Oxford or Luton in the league.
we'll see when we get
Probably Wright or Millwall.
there. No one wants to play Millwall.
Well,
Speaking of racism, we start.
nice segue.
Yes, we start our podcast on the 24th of February, reviewing a match that we have actually watched. For other circumstances, we watched the fall of a superstar in this match rather than the rise.
Yes.
We checked it out in our Scott Steiner podcast, which you can check out in the archives. But we get to enjoy the whole Battle Royal again. So, The Rock's been basically built up as the favourite. He's moved from SmackDown to Raw.
Because he beat Hogan and he's allowed to go anywhere. It's basically, we know you are here for very long, just go on Raw.
And Jericho is out first for the Battle Royal, and he brags about attacking Stacy Keibler early on. So, classy WWE, bit of racism, bit of misogyny. We might as well collect it all. Surprisingly, I can't believe they just sent out 3-minute warning. They gave them a TV entrance. And they're followed by RVD. We go to break. We come out of break. No, we go to break as Maven is out. That theme.
The dub theme.
I mean, we'll talk about dub themes in a later podcast as well. But this dub theme is very annoying. We do miss most of the entrance, so we actually miss Kane, Scott Steiner, Evolution, Booker T, but we don't miss Test.
He got a little bit of a push. For some reason, he was sort of like the feud for Jericho between Rumble and Mania.
Between Sean.
What is going on
Sean.
with
Getting ready for Sean.
Test?
He's Canadian.
Mania 19 could have been different. It could have been Jericho kicking Test in the testicles as well.
What a feud.
Rock is our final entrant, and he's jumped by most of the roster to start off, and Test is immediately thrown out. Jericho follows by jumping away from Test.
Running away from Test.
Oh, the Jamal elimination as well. That just annoyed me. He sort of put on the apron and he just stands there for ages so RVD can jump and kick him out. There's a nice callback to the last Battle Royal on Raw being in 1995, won by Owen Hart. Who did he last eliminate?
There was actually one in 96.
Oh, no, JR. Wrong.
I'm trying to think, was the one in 98 or 99? So now they did Rumbles.
They eliminate any of them.
They do Battle Royal.
Well, what was the last one in 96 then? Who won
there was two. There was a 11-man one, which Ahmed won.
Don't mention Ahmed.
And then there was, because he got injured, because it was to see who fought Sean on an house show after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
He got injured, so the 4 that was left with him had another one, which is Austin, Goldust, Sid, and Savio. And Goldust won that. Taker and Mankind was in the 11 one.
Oh, God. Tommy Dreamer is sent out by The Rock, and Maven follows with The Rock calling him a bitch. Did you notice at this point, you probably noticed earlier than this, Earl's in the ring.
Oh, yeah,
he's in the Battle Royal.
He hadn't got his entrance.
Was that just a mistake? Or
I don't know.
that
happened a couple of times.
I think he must be telling people things. I don't know whether they've not informed everyone of the
what's
order.
going on.
He sort of keeps walking around and talking to people.
Why don't somebody pick Earl up and throw him out?
Should have eliminated the winner later.
So we have Booker T.
Scott Steiner eliminates Stevie Richards, and there's a botch spot which sees Evolution dump out RVD. It's quite botchy, but he's sent out. Al Snow is then sent out by Batista, and Rodney Mack is eliminated by the Hurricane. And you can tell there's a few people over, and one of them is the Hurricane. The crowd love the Hurricane Rock spot, but it does lead to the Hurricane being thrown out. Booker T and Rock spill to the outside, and Rock just walks off the battle royal up the aisle and onto commentary. Jeff is now thrown out by Orton, and Orton follows by Steiner, and then Steiner follows by Batista, and then Batista follows by Booker. They literally go, let's get to the end. So we're flying through them. We're left with one of these is going to Mania. It's Rock, Booker T, Christian Kane, Rosie, or Lance Storm.
Why don't they leave Jamal in when they do this?
I don't quite understand.
Why did they have Storm and Rosie form the team?
Especially because Storm and Christian was a team.
Yeah, they were a team.
They were
Not at that point, but the year before.
They were tag champs, weren't they?
Christian was with the team with Jericho. Lance Storm, I think, was tagged with Chief Morley because Regal got injured.
On SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. When the roster one, the draft one.
Yeah,
I'm sure they tagged
Christian and Lance Storm, because that was the Un-Americans.
They
was
tag
tag
but they were tag champs back in the day.
but not at this point.
So it does beg the question, why Lance Storm and Rosie? But anyway.
Yeah.
Rock shits on Stone Cold on commentary, so they're building to that match. Roman's big brother is clotheslined out by Kane. You have to remember that is Roman Reigns' brother. Is he passed on?
Yeah, he's dead.
Rosie's dead.
Couple of years.
No, cheer up.
Yeah. So Rosie and Jamal are dead.
Yeah. Both 3-minute warning. Only Rico survived.
Yeah, Afro and Seeker are still alive.
They outlive all the Samoans.
Lance Storm is thrown out by Kane, and Booker T gets chokeslammed. Kane now dominates Christian, but Rock is back to dump out both of them in a chokehold spot. This leaves us with Rock and Booker T. Rock rallies, chops the Rock. Rock rallies? Booker T rallies and chops the Rock. There's a DDT by Rock who mocks Booker T. Booker then reverses Rock's Irish whip and throws Rock to the outside. Gets a massive reaction. And to be fair, I don't know why Rock sort of applauds it. But he does, and sort of just goes, yeah, well done. In my head, it was one of them Mandela effects, because I was sure this was where Austin come out and cost Brock. But that might have been the
Hurricane match.
Yeah.
Because I think Austin's team plays, and then you see Hurricane running past him.
But yeah, I mean, as Battle Royals go, I thought it was quite entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, it was alright, it wasn't too bad. I don't think Booker eliminating Rock is probably builds him up a little bit, but he don't feel like he's been built up that much. He has just been stuck with a chokeslam by Kane. So, and he really had a big run.
Yeah, I suppose if you're watching it through the eyes of Booker T, then
that's what we're doing. It is a bit weird.
I'm doing a Jamal podcast.
It's a bit weird that they ain't really shined him up and built him up that much going into it, and then they've stuck him with some stuff about getting him the big elimination. I know he eliminated Batista.
What was he doing? Rock. What was he doing, sort of, in the build to this back end of the year and into?
He won the tag belts, I think, at Armageddon Gold Dust. So they had that big.
Oh, so he was just sort of coming out of the.
Yeah.
Sam, you love a battle royal. You love 2003. This is surely a dream.
It was good. Very, very entertaining. Obviously, Rock helped.
Yeah,
to be honest. So if Rock were in it, then it'd just be another battle royal.
Well, surely if Rock were in it, Lance Storm would have left the ring and he would have gone on to commentary, wouldn't he?
Really?
Chief Morley.
No, it'd have been Test. I mean, you should have watched he was the next one to the Rock.
Yeah.
But I think it was the right winner. It was a bit strange though, Rock saying about Austin. So why am you in this to have a title match?
Yeah. If you sort of build, you can obviously see that he's building the Austin feud. And I think because he took up so much airtime, you actually missed that Batista was quite dominant in the match because the commentators didn't really focus on Batista. I think he must have eliminated
Flair in it as well. I can't remember.
No, I don't think Flair was in it.
Oh, okay.
They were really sketchy with Flair's.
Wrestling
around. So we move forward 1 week. Then now we've got our Mania Raw. Is it the world title? World title built up. It's Triple H defending against Booker T. How can they make us care about this match? Well, here we go. Booker T is out first on Raw. He gets a nice pop. JR's doing nice work on commentary to put over Booker as a potential threat to Triple H. Booker just basically comes out and drops his 5-time catchphrase, hypes his up that he's making his way to Mania. Triple H interrupts him. It's quickly followed by Flair.
Fans have already bought tickets for this WrestleMania, and they're still buying them.
Booker, I think you're a little bit confused about your role in life here. I think you're a little bit confused. You see, Booker, you're going to get to go to WrestleMania, but you see, the fact is, Booker, somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion. You see, people like you don't deserve it. That's reserved for people like me. See, Book, that's where the confusion is. Your confusion is, see, you're not here to be a competitor. You're here to be an entertainer. That's what you do. You entertain people. Hell, you entertain me all the time. Go ahead, Book. Why don't you entertain? Go ahead. Do a little dance for me, Book. Dance? Go ahead. Give me one of those spinneroonies. Come on, Book, dance. Entertain me. That's your job. Don't be embarrassed. Come on, Book. That's what you do. You're here to make people like me laugh.
He's not laughing. Nor should he.
You know it. That's your role. Your job is to make people like me laugh, and you're very good at it. With your nappy hair and your suckas. Hell, I was laughing all week long after you won that 20-man over-the-top broke battle royal. I laughed my ass off thinking about you challenging me for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I fail to see the humor in this, King. Look at that smirk.
See, Book, I understand you've been the 5-time WCW Champion. I get all that. But let's face it, that place was a joke, Book. Rick, correct me if I'm wrong here, Nate, but when Booker T was WCW Champion, wasn't that around the same time frame that other illustrious superstars such as David Arquette and guys like some guy named Vince Russo was champ? Right? Let's face it, Book, you championship that place right into the ground. Now, I'll give you this. You have your moments. Last week, when you threw the Rock over the top rope, hell, that was a moment. But think about it for a sec, Book. What does that give you? What do you get? You're going to go to WrestleMania. This is not some nickel and dime fly-by-night gig, Book. This is the real deal. This is WrestleMania. This is the biggest show on the earth. This is the big daddy of them all. And you're going to go, and you're going to be in the main event, and you are going to wrestle the greatest professional wrestler alive on this planet today. You are going to wrestle the game. You are going to step in the ring with the be-all, end-all of this business. And Book, when you get there, you're going to do what people like you always do. You're going to lose.
Triple H sizes up Booker before telling him that he's confused about his role in life here. Triple H says somebody like Booker T doesn't get to be world champion. People like Booker T don't deserve it. He says it's reserved for people like him. He says that Booker T is an entertainer, and then he tells Booker to do a little dance for him. Tells him to entertain him. That's his job. It does get an asshole chance, I suppose. It is getting heat, but it is Triple H. I mean, he's already got heat.
Yeah.
And then he says, with your nappy hair and your suckers, he was laughing all week thinking about their match at WrestleMania. Shits on WCW champions, referencing David Arquette and Vince Russo.
Considering your managers as former WCW
Yeah, and he's
champion.
laughing. Yeah, with his big teeth.
And even Flair was champ around that time.
Yeah.
More, twice.
Triple H puts over Matt. Did Vince Russo beat Booker T?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
in the cell thing.
Maybe that would have been more on point in terms of what you're trying to do, rather than shitting on a whole company. Reference that the last time you was a champion, or you've lost the belt to Vince Russo.
Yeah. You lost to Vince.
So did Triple H. That would have been a brilliant back and forth, wouldn't it? Triple H puts over Mania and Booker wrestling the greatest wrestler on the planet. He says when he gets there, he'll do what people like Booker always do, lose. Booker says that some of the stuff he says might be true, which pissed me off. And he says he's still going to WrestleMania, and then says somebody like him is going to ragtag his ass. Triple H sarcastically wishes him good luck before teasing what might happen in his match with Scott Steiner later on, which boggles the mind. And he says he might be lucky to make it to Mania. Just to fill you in, he beats Scott Steiner with a roll-up because Triple H and Ric Flair distract Scott Steiner. And then Scott Steiner does the slowest run after Triple H you've ever seen.
I'm fucked.
I mean, we've gone from barely being noticeable in a battle royal, then winning it, to that promo.
Yeah. Well, I hated some of the things might be true.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't get that at all.
Yeah. What is he saying?
What's true? Yeah, Russo was true. And I mean, it's a bit near the knuckle. Obviously, it's racism. Does it need racism? Does WrestleMania title match need racism angle? Probably not. But it added more heat. It added more. It put more of a story in it that it probably didn't have.
Yeah, but I think
it made fans care a little bit more, I would say, for Booker to win, which is where the issue comes later. But
with the booking of the match.
Well, there you go. But the line of some of the things might be true is bollocks.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all.
I just think he looks weak. I think he really
just stands there and texts.
Yes, he does later on give him a good idea, but here he should have just decked him, and then that would have been it.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have had to say anything.
You could have got everything was pretty subtle until he was completely racist. People like you and people like that. That's probably subtle enough. That's probably as close as I feel you could have got away with. But the moment you're sort of talking about nappy hair and suckers and stuff like that, it's just crass and just unnecessary, because I think it cheapens Triple H. I think Ric Flair mentioned about MJF with the water situation recently, and he has got a point. There's better ways of getting heat than just being an absolute cock. You know what I mean? It's cheap heat. Anyone can go and punch a kid in the face. You know what I mean? It's just cheap heat. And I think Triple H is a better heel than that. He's obviously an arrogant heel. It would have been easy for him to just say, I don't recognise any of your world championships because I weren't there. And if I was there, you wouldn't have won a single one. Or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just an arrogant... You don't need to make it racial, Sam.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. The racism. I forgot about some of the things might be true. I forgot about that bit. That was. He shouldn't have said anything. You should have just diss him.
Yeah.
But you could have made this more like him saying, "You're more of an entertainer than a wrestler. The only title you did win was from WCW to try and help it, and it's still dying. What does
Yeah,
that
yeah.
say? You know, you could do
Exactly,
that
yeah, yeah.
instead. You don't need.
There's a million and one way. And like I say, I think Triple H was a strong enough heel that you could have put him against most people and he would have still got heat. And Booker T's on an upward trajectory. The moment he goes, yeah, some of these could be true, but I might win. You know what I mean? It's just, okay, cheers, Booker. We'll get behind you then. Anyway, how are we going to rescue this then? So moving on, 1 week. Booker T is out. JR tries to put over Booker T eliminating The Rock. I think JR's job now is legitimise him as a main event threat. So he's constantly talking about eliminating The Rock. Booker recaps last week. He says Triple H tried to embarrass him. He's finally, the penny's dropped. He says his impulse was to step to Triple H, but he says he is an entertainer. He loves to entertain the fans. He shares his family background, saying he was the youngest of 8 kids and he ran into some trouble, went to jail for armed robbery, and says that that his story is real and Triple H knows nothing about him. He ends the promo telling Triple H to walk down and he will dance over his punk ass.
What the world's champion has got, and that's the title belt king and all the accolades. Wait, hold it. That's not Triple H.
Hey, whoa. Hey.
Oh.
Hey, Booker T. Shut up.
Be quiet.
Booker T.
Let Nate speak.
You aren't Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
You're not Tiger Woods.
No, he's not Tiger Woods. Well, this ain't golf.
And you damn sure aren't Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion. Now you know, taking nothing away from you, 19 months in the big house means you're bad to the bone, man. But you have been dealt a card. Not a bad card, man. The card just doesn't say World Heavyweight Champion.
Not yet. It's not in the cards.
So, Triple H, back in the dressing room, said, Nate, go out there and explain to Booker that I'm not only the greatest wrestler alive, I'm a class act, and I'm not going to lower myself to Booker T's level again.
Wow.
Whoa. Then he said, Nate, take him a message. Next week at Raw in St. Louis, bright lights, big city, you will have 2 choices. You can meet Triple H's jet, as it lands in St. Louis. As that door opens and the champ and Nate, I'm with him wherever he goes, walk down that ramp, you can pick up our bags. You can carry him over to that long limousine. You can put that chauffeur's cap on, and you can drive us downtown.
That's sick.
Then, whoa.
It's not through.
Then you can take our bags in the building, and you will have done something on that day that you are qualified to do. Or you can make the mistake of a lifetime, and you can show up next Monday night uninvited and get the ass whipping of a lifetime.
This is totally disrespectful. St. Louis next week or not, totally disrespectful.
Let me get this straight, right? Triple H is in the locker room. That's right. All right.
Ric Flair comes out instead. Ric Flair says Booker T is not Michael Jordan, is not Tiger Woods, and is not Triple H. He says Booker has been dealt a card, not a bad one, but one that doesn't say World Heavyweight Champion. Ric Flair then says Triple H has told him that he won't lower himself to Booker T's level. He gives him two choices. Oh, Christ, I forgot about this. Tells him next week he can meet them at the airport, carry their bags, and drive them around. Something he's qualified to do, or he can make the mistake of a lifetime, turn up and get his ass kicked. And at least, I mean, it's the wrong person. Hello? It's the wrong person, but he does knock the shit out of Ric Flair. He heads to the back. We find Triple H. We follow Booker T to find Triple H. Yeah. We follow Booker T backstage into Triple H's locker room. He sees Triple H and just sort of stops for a bit. Triple H washing his face. He tells Booker to get him a towel, and then Booker slams Triple H's head into the door. Later on, Triple H tells Flair he was jumped from behind, and then we know that wasn't necessarily true. Triple H then later threatens Maven to set up a match, strangely. And in that match, he just beats Maven. There's no Booker. He don't come out. He just beats Maven.
Oh, yeah, bother about mate. I've done my bit. I'm going. You could fight him, Maven.
Sam, explain that.
Should have been Maven.
Again, it was more unnecessary racism.
Yeah.
But the only saving grace was he did beat him up.
Yeah.
Except that the Triple H bit, he should have just attacked him
Yeah.
right away. But it's just... What's it? Why Maven? Why Maven?
Well, obviously we didn't watch that match because it was just so unimportant.
Relevant.
But it's almost like they felt that Triple H had been weakened slightly by having the door slammed in his face, that they had to heat him back up by beating someone lower in the card. But actually all that does is any strength that Booker had in saying, right, I ain't going to take it no more, I'm going to beat him up, is gone because he just didn't beat him up, really. He just sort of like, smacked the door in his face and went home. I suppose that was it. Jack?
Poor Maven. The promo was okay. The fans don't care as much when he was saying that. What are my kids and all that shit? Because the fans was a bit...
Get why you do
well,
that.
it's sort of... I don't really know why they did it now when they've already gone the racism angle, so why have we now going the backstory angle? We either go to one or the other here. Then, as with Vince and WWE, they have to really be on the nose and hammer the point of this is a racism angle, so we will now do the dollar throw and Booker T and all that.
God.
Which, it's like, come on, I already know you're doing the racism. You ain't going to force it so far that we're doing all this. So it's a bit too much. And then at least Booker gets some steam rolling with beating up Flair, well, just punching Flair, and then beating up Triple H. Well, he just punches him and then slams a door in his face, but at least he gets a little bit of offense. But it is a bit of a tepid start, I would say, to the feud for Booker.
Well, yeah, definitely. We've got 2 weeks now for Mania to sort of rescue this, and there's 2 more matches to come now. So we go forward to the 17th of March, 2003, and Triple H is out. He recaps that he doesn't think Booker T is at his level. I think they have probably slightly toned down the racism at this point. He says that Booker attacked him from behind last week, proving his point. He calls out Booker, wanting to do this face-to-face. He does call Booker a common street thug. I suppose that might be more... That might have been an angle that you could have gone down. You know, he's a criminal and I'm an upper-class snob. But, I mean, Triple H, he's long gone away from the Greenwich nonsense anyway. But... Save this fucking segment, you bastard! Here he comes! Goldust is back! JR shouts. Even though he's already been back. I'm sure I've seen him backstage a couple of times in the Raws leading to it. But anyway, Goldust is back.
He come back from electrocution.
Yeah, I think that's an important... So it's an important reference point, that. Goldust was written off. I think he was electrocuted by Evolution, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they threw him into an electrical unit, which fried his arm, and well, we'll get to it.
Fried his arm.
Yeah, Goldust calls Triple H's performance Oscar-worthy.
Goldust is back. He got electrocuted. February the 3rd. I remember like it was yesterday, and he hasn't been the same since.
I know that deep down in the cockles of your heart, you are worried. Yeah.
Is it what?
And at WrestleMania, you're going to find out that you cannot judge a book by its cornbread, damn it, cornbread.
What is wrong with him? Well, you know, I can't keep him on. It's not that.
He says deep down,
Down there.
and looks at Triple H's balls, and then says, "In the I can't do it.
In the cockles, damn it, of your heart."
He says he's worried.
With his triangle smile and busted tongue smiling.
He says he goes mad and says WrestleMania. Triple H and Flair just laughed. Lawler is fucking loving it. Goldust continues. He says Triple H will lose his title, and Triple H interrupts him, mocking him. The pop that Goldust eventually gets just beating down on Triple H, though, is so good. He's outnumbered. The beatdown takes way too long before Booker T rushes out. He beats down Triple H, hitting the scissors kick. Backdrop to Flair. Triple H is clotheslined out by Goldust. So this leads to Triple H demanding Goldust versus Triple H later on in the night. Booker T heads out with Goldust after Triple H is out, and this does seem to be a trope. Triple H is always out first in his matches. To start us off, Goldust jabs Triple H down early on. He hits his arse bump. It's a brilliant move, isn't it? But Triple H backs him up and lays in corner punches. Triple H takes the Flair back body drop, and Goldust, though, struggles with his left arm, playing on the effects of the electrocution. Triple H works the arm now with the DDT and an extender. He does the arm spine buster and mocks Booker T on the outside. Goldust blocks the pedigree, but only a 2, and then hits a choke slam. Well, sort of a choke slam, sort of running choke slam. He hits a nice clothesline and a drop-down uppercut. Bit mistimed spot on the Irish whip, and this happens quite a bit in our run. I've noticed that the Irish whips are sort of mistimed.
Poor Irish whips.
Oh, yeah. Not a very good podcast for Irish whips, this. And Flair and Booker T get at it on the outside. We see a fan with a crutch who just cracks Booker T with it from the crowd, but then we see that is Randy Orton. Goldust is rolled in. He bulldogs Triple H, 10 punches. He sets up the Shattered Dreams, but can't do it with the pain in his arm. There's a big high knee and a pedigree.
You don't need your arm. Just tough for him, isn't it, that as well? I think Flair's supposed to be on the apron, but he takes that long. Goldust just feels his arm.
Just
and
slow
then
down,
Flair
because he could have kicked him in the balls about 9 times in the time that it took.
I'll wait.
So yeah, for promo and
match.
first match, Jack.
Well, the promo's amazing. We all remember the promo because of Goldust. And the match is okay. I don't think it was that bad. You know, it makes Goldust feel like a mid-carder or upper mid-carder. Gives Triple H a win. Booker getting clocked by the crutch. I sort of get it, because you've got to eliminate him for the finish. But I think it makes him look a bit weak. I mean, he don't really have... I mean,
Again,
Orton's injured, so he can't get the revenge on Orton.
No.
So it just makes him look a bit weak.
Yeah.
He come out looking the weakest, I thought, in this out of the 4.
Yeah.
But the
this...
match itself was fine, and now I want to see Goldust fight Triple H at WrestleMania. If I'm honest with you.
Sam, do you want to see
The
WrestleMania?
promo was brilliant. Eh?
You want to see
Goldust-
Goldust Triple H at Mania?
Yeah, just watch Mania 13.
Yeah, it's happened there.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The promo was brilliant. The match wasn't anything special. It wasn't bad. It was just nothing special.
TV match.
I mean, you got Orton with the crutch. I think maybe if you had Batista, but I don't know how injured he was, that he couldn't actually beat
He done his ankle, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he don't
was
come back till
out for-
October,
yeah,
did
he
he?
was out
For
for
the
6
Goldberg thing, but
I don't think it helps either bringing because Orton's now not around again for another
It's 'cause
3.
he was in St. Louis, I think, is why they had him do it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's his own town.
you live over the road. You ain't got
But it
it.
still don't make a lot of sense.
No, because he's not going to be there. You know, it would have been better. So if you're going to put a third person into it, or just have Jamal or Rico or someone anything with
Yeah,
it.
well,
you know,
anybody,
so
yeah.
just anyone it could have been.
In
But,
the road, Lance Storm.
Maven, turn heel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You follow-
I thought the match
Yeah,
was
that was
quite
really
fun. I mean, the promo was fantastic. It was really entertaining. It doesn't do anything for Booker, the promo,
No, it
really.
don't at all.
And that's the 2 weeks out from Mania. So I get it. Like, it can extend the feud because you bring him Goldust, who is his partner, into it. But you're 2 weeks out from Mania on a week build for a secondary world title. And Booker T hasn't even spoken a word. So, yeah, I'm not particularly enamoured by
I think
the
out of
booking
the
so
4
far.
main events, this was the first one on.
Was it classed as a main event?
Yeah, there was 4, wasn't there?
This Hogan, Vince, Austin Rock, and the WWE.
And they went back to back, didn't they?
Yeah,
They all went back to back because there was the thought that Austin Rock was going to be the last match.
Was it?
But when Austin went to the hospital the night before, they were sure he'd be, so they put the Lesnar Angle match last.
Oh, okay. And then
Well,
Lesnar tried to kill himself in it. So,
And Angle was
Well, the main
barely
event.
get
that Mania, if you think about it, it's mental how stacked that Mania
Oh,
is because
yeah.
you've got
Steiner even on.
you've got Cena on it, Rock on it.
Cena.
He is. He
He
does
does
that.
He
as
does
well.
his rap.
Yeah, but I mean, is on the actual
There.
card. If you think about it, you've got Cena, Brock, Angle,
Yeah, on the main
Austin,
show, I don't think he's on the pre-show.
Hogan. I mean, you ain't going to have it.
on you, eh?
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if you
I
ask
know,
most people to name WWE's Mount Rushmore, you'd say
Taker.
Hogan, Rock, Austin, Taker, Cena,
Yeah.
all those sort of,
Vince.
and they're all on that.
And Nathan Jones.
Reiner.
And there's not a sight of Bull Buchanan there, which annoyed me. Final Raw go home show before Mania, the 24th of March 2003. This Raw, by the way, is headlined by Vince, which is amazing. But before we get there, there is a tag match. It's Booker T and Goldust versus Ric Flair and Triple H. I do like that they give Ric Flair his own ring walk. Yeah. Andy was second to Triple H again. Triple H was the first one out, which is weird. Lawler drops, and now Lawler, it does become slightly unbearable with the jokes about Booker T's fucking criminal past and every single thing he ever said. He laughs at his own jokes. Flair and Goldust start us off. Goldust stutters on the mock of Flair's words.
That's great. I love that.
Oh dear. Flair takes his back bump early on. Triple H gets tagged in. Booker gets tagged in. There's a big standoff, but Triple H seems to be put off by Booker. Triple H knocks down Booker, but he's hip tossed. Triple H then sells heavy and staggers away. Booker ducks his head and is kicked down, and Flair starts laying in the chops but eats some of his own from Booker. This does allow the Flair flop, obviously. There's a time he's trying to push Booker away so he could do the flop.
I've already had 4 things.
Triple H is in, but he's spin kicked down and Flair chops the knee away from Booker. And Triple H now starts to work the leg. We get a few bleeps. Is that from...
Oh, say not
Booker. Yeah, I don't know if it's from Booker or from Flair or what. And Goldust runs off Flair. Booker allows us to go to break, basically. When we come back from break, the big 4-leg lock is in. I love Flair's acting. He's so fucking good. It's facial. He's being turned. You're obviously going to be turned over, Flair. You never win with that move. It succeeds in turning it round. Booker rallies. It's strange that Goldust gets the hot tag again in this match. They're supposed to build Booker. Big butt bumps all round, but Goldust's arm slows him down. Double uppercut, a pair of atomic drops, and a pair of clotheslines. Goldust is completely on fire, but he does miss a running nothing and slides to the outside.
Just fucking taking a proper bump outside.
He
doing
does.
that cross-body thing.
Triple H sends him into the steel steps and Flair low blows as Goldust is isolated. Chokes and punches as Goldust fights back, only to feed the comeback with a net breaker from Triple H. Booker makes the tag, but the ref misses it, so that's a nice old school heat. Goldust rolls out the corner to make the hot tag. That was weird as well because it didn't feel like it built. He just sort of went, "I'm going to do a barrel roll."
Barrel roll. We've only just done the blind tag, and now we're just going to immediately roll.
You might as well just let him do the tag. There's a nice spin kick, side kick. Booker T lights up Triple H in the corner. Flair goes for the legs. Triple H takes a corner bump, and Flair, I think, was supposed to take his corner bump, but trips and goes head first into the corner. Triple H gets colour. Like, is it AEW? I mean, it's an inconsequential middle of the card Raw match. Triple H must blade, but I suppose they do kind of explain it later on. Booker T with a forearm hits a scissor kick to Flair, but Flair isn't legal. Triple H clocks Booker at the corner, but he's reversed on a pedigree into a catapult, scissors kick, and Booker covers and beats the champion. I did like. Did you both watch the backstage thing after?
Yeah,
when he's dripping blood onto the belt, and he says Flair's trying to fire him up.
It was a fluke. You are the champion. You are a better man. You are Triple H. You are the game. You are the best the world has to offer. This is yours. You're the man. And at WrestleMania, Booker T does not stand a chance. You are the man. Don't ever lose sight of that. Obviously, nobody told Booker T that.
Says that he can't beat you or something along those lines. No one told Booker T that. And I thought that was the best.
Think yours better?
That's the best line of the whole. That's the best line in the whole build. The fact that Triple H is underestimating him all the way through, and now he's recognised that Booker T's got nothing to lose.
That's where the blood helps.
Yeah, especially because you got the visual of the blood sort of dropping onto the gold belt. But it's so late in the day now.
It's fucking weekend.
Yeah. Sam, thoughts on that tag?
It was a decent tag match. A bit too late though. Considering the Mania's on Sunday. And yeah, the promo I don't see it.
Yeah.
But he should have said that maybe at the very beginning. Maybe do this match
at
the week after the Battle Royal.
Well, without giving away exactly what my rebooking is, that's exactly what happens in my rebooking.
Just move things around.
Just move this forward because the moment you've established him as a threat, especially if you're going to have him not win, or you can change the way that Triple H deals with Booker T as well. It's too late in the day, but I thought this was a good tag match. I did like it. The only thing I would say is there was 2 heat spots, and it might have been better not to have Booker T take any heat and just really dump the heat on Goldust, especially when we're supposed to believe that this man was legitimately electrocuted about 2 months ago. So, we can believe that he would be in a weakened state. Jack?
He keeps feeling his arm. I really like the tag match. I really like the tag match. I thought it was good. It's 4 strong characters. Booker's probably the weakest going into it, to be fair. But they do a good job of building him up. I'm not a big fan of when you're leading into a one-on-one match, somebody pins the other one who they're fighting. But I think you needed to do it here.
Well, you needed to do it. It kind of gives away, though, if you do it at this time. Because then it makes you think, well, Triple H
is going to win at Mania. Yeah. And that's mainly because of the crap booking of WWE, because they always do this shit.
Well, the thing is, he's got no real steam going into it that he's got to really beat Triple H just to give fans the belief that he can win, or the casual fans, or whatever.
Which is again why it makes sense to do this as early as possible after he's won that battle royal, and it. And I mean, the problem is they probably didn't give themselves a long enough period to build book. If they've only got 4 weeks and they've never really interacted, Triple H, Booker T ever interacted before this?
Not before this.
You've got to cram in a lot of story in 4 weeks whilst there's 4 other main events that you're trying to book, or 3, or whatever it is. two of them being on this show.
Well, and this is definitely the weakest. You're just in star power, let alone story and people caring.
And the placement of it, because we're going forward now to Mania 19. I mean, how can it possibly follow the Miller cat, the Miller Lite cat fight?
That amazes me in this match. That it follows the
cat fight
being
in the bed, rolling over the couch.
The bra and panties women's spot. And then they lead into this match, and you think, well, it feels like the crowd. I'm knackered from seeing it.
Like I've
seen what I wanted to see.
Get out, Hogan. We've seen the birds. That's all we've been
saw the birds. We want to see Hogan, Austin, and Rock. That's it.
Yep. Triple H is out first. No respect for the champions on this card, obviously.
Or the whole podcast.
Yeah. Flair is out, suited and booted, and obviously Lawler keeps peddling the Triple H is a law-abiding champion. Booker T is a street thug criminal.
Street rat.
JR, yeah, exactly. That's what they should have built it. He should have come out with a snake staff. Triple H. Big
what does that make bloody Flair? Is he the Sultan?
Is he Argo?
He's jazzing.
No, Gold must have been the Sultan.
I think he'd more the genie.
Not the genie, yeah. JR keeps going heavy on Booker T's background being a strength, whilst Lawler keeps countering it and just basically making a light of it, which, again, it doesn't help. I think let JR do it, and you just don't need to belittle it, because if you start making it comedic, then why should I care?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Booker T and Triple H have a nice face-off to start. That is... I do like the face-off with the ref.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do the big match call, I think do it like a boxing style where they get forward and they're giving instructions. Who is the ref? Isn't he Patrick?
Patrick, I think Patrick, pretty sure.
Booker T backdrops Triple H early on. He's well on top with stiff shots. There's a nice Brett rope arm drag by Booker T, and Triple H rolls to the outside. Booker T hits a clothesline on an arm drag block. JR shits on the Fink being drunk last night and feeding Lawler misinformation.
That's a weird moment. That was already.
They always was drunk. He always shits on the Fink, don't they? And Jack's right. I mean, I can't remember how long ago it was that we watched this. Ages ago with Mr. America. I don't think we've watched another match on this card. And I remember the Vince McMahon Hogan one being really hot, the crowd being really good.
Yeah.
So something's gone wrong here because I'm dead. Like there's no noise. Yeah, Triple H gets a bit of offense, sending Booker's face into the post. He stays on top and he hits an elbow to the throat of Booker. The commentary team again just filling in for a lot of dead air because the crowd are either not mic'd up well or they just don't know what's going on, or like we've just said, they've seen Raw and they know what's going to happen. Booker T rallies only into an Arn Anderson style spinebuster. There's a massive corner clothesline which bounces Booker. I mean, he does bump really well for a bloke of his size, to be fair. Gets a 2. Booker T rolls through, hits a big DDT. Again, a flat reaction. Big punches are traded. Booker T hits a huge spinning heel kick and a sidewalk slam. He hits a spinning forearm, but only gets a 2. Triple H lifts the knee to the face of Booker, but only for a 2. Booker T hits his own hooked-legged spinebuster, which isn't quite as crisp as the Arn one. There's a beautiful leaping kick to the jaw, and again, Triple H sells that because he looks like he knocks his teeth out. Just for a 2, though. There's a nice spot as Triple H drops the top rope and Booker T misses the side kick to fall flat on the outside. Flair now gets involved in the match, working Booker's knee on the steps. Now, what's JR's favourite move?
The Indian Death Rock.
Oh, there you go. That's an Indian deathlock. I haven't seen that version of an Indian deathlock in years.
That is beautiful. You might as well go ahead and tap out now, Booker.
Come on, Booker T, you want to stop?
Tap out.
He shits himself.
Fuck me!
Oh my God! That's the Indian Deathlock. I haven't seen that for 40 years.
I can't believe it.
That he loves
that I always remember from this. That's when he does it.
Fucking loves it. I mean, he works the knee hard. Triple H zones in on it constantly. We get a roll up on a 2. But yeah, he mocks Booker T, who can't stand up properly. Booker T rolls up Triple H and the ref bump time. But I thought it was a ref bump. Nick Patrick just ducks and Booker T gets a roll up.
The smartest ref. I thought
Yeah.
ref bump, and then I had to put a question mark, and I thought, hold on, what's
He's not
supposed to be?
Yeah. Booker T hits a
Ref bump.
Booker T hits a scissors kick, but because of the damage that the Indian Deathlock has done to his leg, he can't take advantage
That's
of
my
it.
jail. I loved it. Oh, I'll never come back from it. Battle.
At the last second, Triple H does kick out. In fairness to Triple H, he gives him that. He gives him 2.9.
That's it.
That's all you get in.
That's all you get in, Buck.
Triple H is laid out. Ric Flair is laid out from the apron, and Booker is caught on the top. Booker T fights. He hits a massive moonsault leg drop. Is that the Harlem Hangover?
Yeah,
Houston Hangover.
It was Harlem Hangover in WCW, or it?
Yeah.
When he was
Harlem in Heat, yeah. But he can't get the cover.
Stevie Ray in this?
He wouldn't have done that.
No, I mean, you could have had him just come out.
I did think about incorporating him.
Wasting money. You got gold dust.
No, but I mean, he could. You know, when I was saying about trying to bill him for Orton and Batista,
Oh, yeah.
I just thought maybe you could do that and really dump on Booker T being the runt of his family.
Oh, you mean Stevie Ray as a heel?
With Triple H, like just something like that. That was what I was thinking.
Well, they did that with Grandmaster and Lawler, and no one cared.
Touche.
Yeah, but that was Grandmaster. Brad Lawler in 2011.
Jesus. We'll be back. Again, he can't cover. Triple H is saved by Flair as he puts as Flair puts Triple H's foot on the bottom rope. This is sort of like to give Booker T the visual win.
Yeah.
Booker's leg gives way and he walks into a pedigree. And Jesus Christ. I mean, I timed it. I think it was 18 seconds.
Something like it's maybe like a minute or something.
It feels like he's down for a good 18 seconds before he sort of covers. He just flops his arm over and he wins. I mean, like, I get the fact that they see more money in Triple H than Booker.
Yeah.
I also get that it's nice to have a heel champion and a face champion. You know, I get that Raw is kind of the heel champ. You know who's coming in shortly as well, and you need a heel champion. I get all that. Do you have to beat him?
I think he's
I thought you meant Kevin Nash.
Oh no, yeah. Well, him as well. But fuck me, there's better ways to have him. Who was the road agent that says you know what you're going to do? Well, I bet that they didn't, and Triple H just did it. But it just is so stupid that he should have kicked out.
He should have.
I don't normally like kicking out of finishes all the time, but just kick out.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, and it took forever. That way, you can say, well, you took forever to pin me, therefore my power got put back up a bit.
I think there's got to be some recognition as well between the people who are giving times to matches of what match is hot enough to justify 20 minutes and one that isn't. Triple H and Booker can go for 20 minutes. It wasn't horrible, but some of it just felt too long for what the story was.
Well,
You know?
5 minutes was an Indian
Deathlock, yeah.
5 minutes got a move over.
Jack?
Yeah, the crowd was dead for the first 5-10 minutes, and it really took me a while to get into it. Yeah. And then I finally got into it. Indian Deathlock's amazing. I couldn't. JR absolutely lost his head on that move, and I'm so happy about it. The match itself's okay, but the pedigree and the taking of an age just really weakens Booker again.
Yeah.
That he got beat by one pedigree, and it took him 20
Was it
seconds
one?
to pin him. Yeah, he never
One,
only did it
yeah,
once. Like if he did it earlier in the match and he kicked out and then he did it again, and
Well, it's the fact that
If
he's
he'd had a
worked
long
the legs
back
as well. Like
yeah.
if he'd have maybe worked the neck or something where the move related to where he'd been working, but he'd worked the legs. So like, I can understand his legs are hurting, but he just I hated this match so much.
Well, it's the finish. Now.
It's the finish, really. The actual match itself is okay.
Yeah,
For what it is, it's just a shit ending.
Yeah. I don't like. It's miles better than anything we've watched in fucking uncensored or anything like that. But
Well, come on.
But like it just the booking of it drives me mad. I can't quite understand how you can have Triple H win if you're that upset about Booker T, the idea of Booker T being champion. But there's better ways of doing it.
Why kill him off?
Yeah. Sam, anything to add?
No, as I said, the match was okay. It's just I think they should have had Booker win.
Yeah. So
And it's a poor ending. Booker should have won, and then you can maybe have Triple H win it the next week.
The week after.
Or the next month at the
The
pay
next
per view.
pay-per-view.
Because, I mean,
You can
what
do
would you
it.
rather see? Booker T v Triple H in a rematch, or have a Kevin Nash 6-man tag?
We'll answer that question in about half an hour.
The story you've told, you have to have the face win in that feud.
Yeah.
You can't have the heel win, otherwise it's really bad taste.
Yeah.
And it kind of sends the wrong message in a way. If you hammering it on the head, this is about racism.
Racism win.
And then, because obviously there might be kids out there that watch it and think, oh, it's all right to do that then. I don't want to get all,
No, but you're
social
right.
commentary, but don't do it like that.
You just don't need to. I
No.
agree completely.
Racism wins.
Don't worry
Every
though.
time.
We've got another month. We can repair this. We can rebuild it. So we go forward to March the 31st, 2003. It's a hot, raw after Mania crowd. Booker T is being strapped up backstage. Flair walks in, immediately mocks Booker T, calling him basically a zero. And Booker T does show really good aggression. He grabs him round the throat. Warning him. Flair looks fucking petrified.
I love that promo.
It's good, isn't it?
That's what you should have done at the beginning.
Yeah,
He's already lost.
it's too late.
Again, do this at the beginning, yeah?
It is a nice segment to, at the very least, put over that Booker T has got the aggression to do it. So,
Ruthless aggression.
later, Jericho is out for their match. So it's Jericho versus Booker T.
Oh, God, this feud needs more people.
There's no stakes for this match. It's just
No,
a throwing
just a match,
together
yeah.
match, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
There's
it's
no-
basically, we've got somebody coming back. He's friends with Sean, who was
Yeah.
feuding with Jericho. Let's just add them together.
Oh, well, anyway.
It's the click featuring Flair, Booker T, and Jericho.
He takes the mic. He says that last night, this is Jericho. He says that last night he had a great match with Shawn Michaels. He says he bought the best out in Shawn last night, but he was better than Michaels and deserved to win the match. So basically, he's playing the sort of sore loser gimmick. He says that the last thing that people will remember from the night was Shawn crying as he left the ring triumphantly.
I kicked him in the dick.
And he's calling himself the highlight of the night, which I think gets sort of rebranded as the highlight reel. doesn't it?
I think he does keep saying the highlight of the night
Oh,
for
right.
a while. But
Booker
then the
T-
highlight reel.
Never caught on.
Booker T interrupts him. Thank God, JR says. JR, he doesn't jump him. Jericho jumps Booker to start in and start zoning in on the leg. At least they're sort of selling that Booker T had a legitimate injury. Jericho kicks the leg as Lawler continues to go on about this ex-con stuff. Jericho continues to work the leg on the bottom rope, but he's kicked
Weren't
to the
you
outside.
accused in '93, Lawler?
Yeah, questionable, Lawler. Questionable. The walls is teased, but he's rolled up for a 2. JR, you know what he references now? The Indian
Indian
Deathlock.
Deathlock.
Yeah, he loves it. Remember last night? Indian Deathlock.
Fucking brilliant, Jerry.
He loves it. Booker T rallies, hits a spin kick. Jericho hits his face, Black Bulldog misses his line salt, which he tends to miss all the time. He hits Booker T's boot. Flair is out to just cause an instant DQ. Jericho and Flair do work over Booker T. Triple H is out, he hits a pedigree. Figure 4, Sean's out, he's on fire, clears out Jericho and Flair, sets up Triple H for a sweet chin, but he's clocked by Jericho. Booker is rolled out as Triple H hits a backbreaker onto Sean. And so immediately Triple H has gone, well, I want to fight my friend.
Here's the other friend.
Jericho locks in the walls. Booker T is in as his leg kicked. And yes, the Indian Deathlock is put on Booker. He's dead! I mean, the logical booking for me is that you've immediately established what your match can be going into Backlash if you wanted to merge two feuds.
Four-way tag, whatever.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the week after, we get that match.
Fucking truck up here.
But I mean, it was too short, really, it wasn't offensive. It was too short. And Booker T sold the leg well. That's the best I can say. Anyone want to add anything to
it? Well, really, it was just a match that
just for after
Mania, just to perpetuate the segment after.
And to start the move into the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Mania's done.
I don't quite like the fact that heels instantly forget that they used to hate each other, though. That's what I always hate. Like, really heels should, like, baby faces should be dumb. That's the nature of baby faces. Yeah. Oh, we love you now.
Yeah.
Heels should remember that they don't like each other. So when Triple H and Jericho are working together for no reason,
you ran over my dog. You know, have like a face up and like, you know.
I think it's too. Especially with, like, Jericho and Triple H have had a long feud, really, if you think about it, with the Stephanie McMahon thing. then when Triple H comes back, the roles are reversed a little bit. So there's enough...
Hell in the Cell with Judgment Day out too.
Well, exactly. So there's enough there. So if you're going to just throw them together, at least let us know why they're now friends. You know what I mean? Just
even if you just have a look at it, you kind of squint it.
yeah, like, that's it. You want the Burns Homer thing. Where you know they're still enemies.
Yeah, and they could have Flair in the middle of it.
No, a snowman of Flair. With the clothes on. Well, no, he'd have his clothes off, wouldn't he, Flair? I mean, let's face it. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward, 7th of April 2003, Coach has replaced JR because he's quit again. This is the era of JR and Coach sort of hot potato in.
What happened?
I think he fired Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And he said he's a fucking stupid son of a bitch for getting his medical records. And then I think he come out to Stone Cold's music at the start of this episode, and JR went, "Oh, fucking quit" or something.
Oh, okay.
Sort of walked out.
I thought it was the unsafe work involved. That's like later when Kane sets him on fire.
How many times does JR quit? God's sake, JR, you can't keep quitting.
To be honest, they didn't fight it.
Desperate to get Coach on commentary, though.
Now we see the Indian Deathlock. It's completed.
I've peaked.
And we don't have JR back now, do we? For our podcast now. Poor JR. Goodbye. We hardly knew you. Shawn Michaels gets the final ring walk.
Don't worry, he's back for Bad Blood.
Yeah. Is that
and Judgment Day?
Is he back for Judgment Day?
I think he's back on Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah, because Austin's back by Judgment Day, isn't
he? He's the coach, yeah, because they did the whole thing with...
I think that's when...
sick in the... Bad Blood's a triathlon.
That's where he's sick.
No,
they do
Judgment Day. They do a thing where he's eating and stuff.
Yeah,
because
that leads. No, I think that's
the one with the burp. And
yeah, that leads.
That's why he was sick.
So he was sick in the Judgment Day, and that leads to the build for the triathlon. There's a whole build for that.
Yeah, because he's unhappy that Austin re-hired Val Venus.
Oh, God, so am I. I wish JR had quit because of that.
You like this year?
Yeah. I like, 02 to 05.
It's a weird time in it where there's just so many things that
WCW, bro.
It's Triple H kills WCW. Think about who he feuds with.
Oh, God.
Steiner, Booker, Nash, Goldberg. That's it.
Yeah, the whole year. Jesus. Until he loses to...
Ben Moss. WCW, Book.
Yeah, well, there we go. Shawn Michaels gets the final ring walk. I don't know whether that's a subtle sign to who is going to be pushed more. But,
he don't take his chaps off, though. That confused me.
Our faces take control early on, sending Jericho and Triple H to the outside. Shawn slingshots himself to the outside, and then we pair up into our Mania matches. Booker T gives Triple H 10 in the corner and a clothesline for a 2. Shawn now works the shoulder of Triple H as Jericho gets the tag. They work Shawn in the corner, but Shawn rallies, hits a forearm and a kip up. Sweet chin music is teased, but it's blocked. But so is the pedigree. Ric Flair drops the top rope though, and Shawn drops to the outside. Oh, I hate this.
The limo.
I hate a limo spot. It fucking annoys me.
Is it?
It's a limo. If he didn't appeared and there wasn't a limo, would there be no pop? Like,
it's a big diesel truck. Who is it?
That would have been better if you're going to show it. Tell me.
What's that?
Oh dear.
JR.
That was in the limo. I've got back home.
The Harley Race knee by Triple H and Shawn is
Harley Race like knee.
Oh, is it like these?
Yeah,
Not-
for some reason. No, well, that's what JR always said. The Harley race like these.
yeah, it's not quite Harley
It's
Race.
Harley races.
No, you don't know. You might have swapped knees. Jericho uses tape to choke down Shawn. Jericho mocks Shawn. He does do a nice mock, but he can't get the 3. Shawn hits a crossbody to feed the comeback, but he's slowed by Jericho. Triple H is tagged in to wear down Shawn Michaels with a sleeper hold. Shawn breaks, locks in his own, but a belly to back suplex, and he's dropped down. Big spinning heel kick by Jericho and a face plant into the Lion Salt, but knees up, never hits the Lion Salt, never happened. Booker T makes the hot tag, he lights up Triple H, hits the forearm and the chops. Big backdrop and a spinning kick. DDT gets, it gets a 3, doesn't it? Let's face it. But Earl counts the 3. He just doesn't give it as a win. What the fuck happened there? Even the commentary team say, well, that was a 3, weren't it? I'm confused about winning with that. There's a nice spine buster by Booker T. Clears out the heels so he can do the spinneroonie. Jericho locks in the walls, but he's hit with the sweet chin music. Triple H is back in. Teases the pedigree, but it's reversed. Booker T gets a 2nd win over Triple H with the reversal of the pedigree. Flair is in to take out the legs. Shawn then makes the save, but Jericho clocks him with a chair. They handcuff Shawn to the top rope. Who's going to make the save? It's Hurricane. Not quite Hurricane. He does the Aldo Montoya spot, which will always be known as the Aldo Montoya spot.
The fake.
Yeah. Runs out, can't do it. He attacks Flair, but he's dealt with. Jericho sizes up HBK, and now the big man can return. It's the return of Big Daddy Kevin Nash
to a slightly slower Diesel theme.
Yeah,
because I think it is proper Diesel's theme. They just slow it down until they've got his new theme ready.
They should have just had Roseanne's music, shouldn't they? Really?
No, they should have had his heel Diesel theme, which is just a proper heavy Coach's call about Nash. He's obviously trying to go with the JR. Isn't like it's Kevin and the no reaction really. It just doesn't suit Coach. Coach isn't that kind of commentator. Like Cole can do it and JR can do it, but Coach can't do it.
He should have done like a Todd Grisham.
Kevin Nash.
That would have sufficed the people's reaction.
Oh God, it's that. Yeah, he meanders down. He sizes up the heels. To be fair though, when he left, he was heel, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the NWO.
In fairness to the crowd, they might have just not quite understood if he was a babyface or a heel.
Yeah,
and we still don't. Big boots Flair. Clocks Jericho, big sidewalk slam. Triple H has a sledgehammer, but he chooses not to fight Nash. And the Raw ends after Booker T has got to win, with Booker T being completely irrelevant because now it's a storyline about Nash, Shawn, and Triple H.
yes.
Woo woo. Anyone enjoy?
I enjoyed the tag match. I thought the tag match was good, but it ain't going to be shit, is it? I mean, it's them 4.
I thought it was good.
So I enjoyed the tag match. I like the fact that Booker got a win over Triple H. Whether you need to continue this feud, I don't know. But
you don't, do you? This is the thing. I think Booker T would have actually been better served to get away from this feud at this point if you know that you're going to go with Nash.
Well, it's the 4th wheel in this. It's now the 5th wheel when the other man comes out.
Yeah.
In Big Kev. But he beat the champion just, and he beat him 2 weeks ago. But he still feels like the 5th wheel, so it don't really.
Not quite the 6th wheel.
He already feels irrelevant.
Yeah,
and he's 5 minutes before he pinned the world champion.
Mad, isn't it?
It's clear that you're done now.
You are back to being the 4th or 5th top babyface.
Number 5 babyface.
And that's the problem. Booker T always sort of fell into that, no matter where. I mean, obviously, you could even make a claim that he did that in TNA. But wherever he sort of went, even when he was the champ, he never felt quite like he was the top babyface or the top heel. His best run was obviously the King Booker. But that's because they had no heels at that time. They got Cena.
Well, they had
destroyed them all. They've only got Finlay for that shit. So we go forward 1 week again. We got fortunately, even though Booker T won, the next show, this show, opens up with Nash, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels having a lover's tip. Later on, Bischoff is out again doing his. I think he's doing an Austin sale or something.
Doing a sale.
He's selling
can't sale.
And Booker T interrupts him. He wants a rematch for the World Championship, not the wrestling.
The wrestling belt.
Or as Andre calls it, the World Federation.
World.
We'll get to that in a later podcast when it will make sense. Booker T interrupts Bischoff. He wants a rematch for the World Championship, obviously as he's won. But Bischoff does leave thinking about it. And this is where Bischoff becomes a bit of a sort of tweener character
I
as well.
I thought, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, why
you look weak by having to go to him and ask him for your title match. And then you just went, Sucka! After that. And Bischoff then is like, I've just been a bastard heel, but I'm going to give the face a title rematch.
Yeah, well, anyway, in the back, the best bit, Hurricane interrupts Triple H in the back to back up Booker T's claim for a title shot. Hurricane gets Bischoff to make a tag team match between Triple H and Flair against him and...
You're actually considering giving Booker T a title shot.
Triple H, if you think about it, the man's got to...
Wait. There's nothing to think about. This is the World Heavyweight Champion. He already beat Booker T. What possible reason could you have for giving Booker T a shot at the champ?
What possible reason? I'll give you 3. Number 1, Booker T pinned you, Triple H, just last week. And number 2, if it wasn't for you, Ric Flair, Booker T would have won the World Championship at WrestleMania. And number 3, if you don't, Eric Bischoff, what's up with that?
If you don't mind, the adults are trying to have a conversation here. What are you doing here? What do you give a crap if Booker T gets a title shot or not? What are you even here for?
What am I here for? Because I stand for truth and justice, biatch!
Listen, run along before I fold you up like a paper airplane and sail your ass on out of here. Now, Eric, if you're considering giving Booker T a title shot, at least make him earn it. Give him a match tonight, and if he wins that, then maybe...
Holy brainstorm. Earn it, you say? Well, how about if Booker T faces Ric Flair tonight, and if he wins, then he gets a shot at your world title?
How about this? I got a better idea. No. How about this? How about it's the Hurricane against Triple H, and if I kick your ass, Booker T doesn't get crap.
Guys, let me try this one. How about if Booker T teams up with the Hurricane here, and they take on the Nature Boy Ric Flair and the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H, and if Booker T's team wins, Booker T gets a shot at the champ.
Get this straight. If Booker T teams, if they win with the Hurricane as his partner, then he gets a shot at the title?
That's a deal.
That's great. You're on. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. You're not just facing the world champion. You're facing a couple of kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, limousine-riding, jet-flying.
Whoa. Jet flying? Some people don't need jets to fly. Woo!
Booker T.
Booker T should have got, no, I want the title match. I want to tag with you.
This is brilliant, this fucking Hurricane. Shit. It's just brilliant. He's so funny. He's biatch, and then there's the whoosh noise, which is supposed to relieve him he flies off. Ric Flair's confused about what he's supposed to be doing. He's looking all over the place. It's fucking beautiful. Wow, what an era.
This is why it was Hurricane. Why a baby faced in Booker T.
He was so over. What a moment for him, though. He was just so hot, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he had his feud with The Rock. He come out and did the other one toy spot. But at least he
had
was
he done his team with Kane?
Yeah, he'd already done that.
Done that as well?
Yeah, he'd done that.
He sort of just quickly...
The
fire is doused by the summer.
How dare they get over it?
Give him Rosie.
Yeah. Booker T and Flair start us off. Flair is dumped on his head on a hip toss. He doesn't get a lot of height on that hip toss. Eats a clothesline. Booker T works in the chops and tosses Flair off the top. Leave that with that. Triple H kicks out of a spine buster after Hurricane is in. Takes down Triple H with a spinning head scissors and clocks Ric Flair. Triple H lays in the spine buster though and heel chops up Hurricane. Hurricane is in peril as he's kicked down in the corner. Again, though, this weird hot tag. He just walks over and tags him. It's just really weird. He just sort of runs over and tags him in. Which I suppose is what you should do in a tag match, really. But okay, it does take the wind out of the match a little bit because there's no natural hot heat from the hot taggers. Booker does all the hot tag stuff anyway. Kicks, forearm chops, and whatnot. Hurricane hits a shining wizard to Flair for a 2. Booker T hits his scissors kick. Triple H drags him out and Hurricane is high. He misses a leap in nothing. Earl does a huge dive to stop Triple H using the chair and lands on his arse. I mean, he does. Absolutely jumps. I think he thinks he's going to grab the chair and land on his feet. But he grabs the chair and just fucking falls on his arse. It is funny. Anyway, Shawn is out. He hits a sweet chin music to Flair. Earl is in. Hurricane beats Flair because of Shawn to win Booker T a title shot. It's all very confusing, that, isn't it? But yeah, Hurricane beats Flair because of Shawn, and Booker T, therefore, is the number one contender.
Down a Kevin Nash inside.
Dear it well. Don't speak too soon. Big brawl afterwards.
They call it reversing.
I mean, Booker T barely gets involved in this brawl, by the way. Nash is in. He takes the sledgehammer from Triple H. Booker T misses his spot, so Triple H has to literally shout him. He says, "Book!" like that because he backed him up in the corner. As Nash turns, Booker T sort of touches Nash, and Nash turns and decks him.
Yeah.
And then Booker T gets up and he clocks Triple H. He clocks Shawn Michaels, which is to build this dissension within this six-man tag.
Can they get along?
Yeah, which is another trope of exactly.
Nothing happened.
That's what tends to happen. Thoughts on the Hurricane tag match?
Hurricane. I don't mind the tag match. Again, decent enough match. Hurricane getting the win. Does he need the win? Would it be better for Booker? Probably yes. But because Hurricane isn't involved in the six-man tag, so why is he getting the win?
What does he do with Backlash?
Hurricane. So what's the point? You might as well give it Booker, who's on it. I like the dissension. If up until this, I've got everything that happened after wrestling, and I only remember to this point.
After wrestling,
there's a bit of dissension here. Booker feels a bit, he's got the dissension with Shawn.
He's got a bit of an edge.
Can we remember
turn him?
Much the same way I go on about history. Does Booker T not remember what Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Kevin Nash did to him
in the
NWO?
Yeah.
Like that immediately is forgotten as well.
Versus Evolution and Jericho. I never thought of that.
Wow. Should have come out in the NWO. With Goldust in NWO Goldust.
It comes out. Yeah, but then you'd need X-Pac and Big Show.
I'm just saying, WWE, especially when it's being booked under Vince McMahon, has got this horrible way of ignoring anything that's ever happened before.
We don't just ignore the outside world. We ignore ourselves.
Instead of grey areas, which makes stories better.
Yeah.
Because this little dissension I don't mind, but the fact that it don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But the dissension made me think, I'm interested now. What's going to happen?
So, to be honest, this match, I just went because I was sick of tag matches.
Yeah, I did get it.
I watched all of this together. I thought, another tag match.
Yeah, and
Jesus Christ.
It is repetitive booking. It does feel like repetitive booking.
Who's Booker T's partner this week?
I ain't being funny, but I mean, Booker T had a legitimate claim to be number one contender because he beat Triple H at Mania to all extensive purposes because of the foot. Then he's beat him in the tag match. You could have just moved everything up a week and he could have just had the title match now, or you could have built the title match rather than just throwing this out there. But I think it's more to do with let's get over the booking for Backlash and we'll worry about the title match next week when it comes around. Because let's face it, the way that they book this, is just bizarre.
Oh, there's a funny bit in it.
there is a very, very, very funny bit in it, which I know. I loved it. But anyway, we'll get to
I
it.
forgot that.
It's so fucking funny though, are you?
I was waiting for it, I remembered it.
Oh no, but it's so funny. Like, that can happen sometimes and it can not be as funny as the way that it happened. It was so funny. Anyway, the 21st of April 2003's Raw. Earlier in the night, Bischoff explained to Flair that he's making Shawn Michaels the guest referee tonight. Now, let's try and get behind the logic that he's sensing the dissension and therefore adding that element to the match. I think it's weak.
Well, I think
As a
it would
heel
have made
authority.
more sense to use Nash, because Nash has painted his colours to the mast that I am trying to get the clique back together,
yeah.
and I am Triple H's friend.
Exactly. Anyway,
And he did punch Booker.
as with Mania, Triple H is out first. Shawn is the referee, gives them the boxing style instructions to start out. Tries to separate them early on, reprimands them both for holding onto each other. There's big chops and right hands, and Booker hits a spinning forearm for a 2. Big sidewalk slam as Lawler desperately tries to explain the Trojan horse to Coach. He keeps going back to that.
Never heard of the Trojan horse? Explain it to me.
I don't know what the fuck he's on about anyway. I don't quite know.
Is he trying to do like a sort of thing of the Trojan condoms? Is it?
Oh, my
I don't think so. It's named Trojan horse.
I don't quite get what
And
the
then,
fucking hell his point
Because
is.
Coach goes, I don't know what that is. Lawler's like, well, let me explain it to
And
you.
then every time he gets just about to explain it, Coach would go, oh, it's a Trojan
Yeah,
horse. And then he'll go back to, you know this Trojan horse? Fucking hell.
The jail must be going, put me back
Yeah,
in
that's
commentary.
so boring.
Booker T was in
Point.
jail, you know.
Basically, the point I think is that Nash is a good Trojan horse.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry.
Anyway, Ask Cloud Jericho is in. That's the thing. That T-shirt. I am not an Ask Cloud. I mean, what the fuck?
I'll buy that.
Jericho gets a few shots in. Here we
What
go.
is an Ash claim?
No idea. Booker T escapes a sleeper after the break, and we get the weakest spine buster we've seen so far. There's a nice stalling suplex and a Harley Race-like knee for a 2. Triple H remains in control as he hits a neck breaker for a 2. Booker T does start to rally, but we go to the sleeper spot. Booker T rallies, lays in elbows, breaks loose. There's a massive kick to the face, and Triple H is down. Once again, there's a sloppy whip spot, but Booker T is firing in the clotheslines. Massive side kick to on a Brett rope leap. Booker T goes to the top, hits a missile drop kick. Triple H grabs the rope, survives, and rallies with a face buster and a DDT. Booker recovers, hits his scissors kick, but Triple H kicks out a 2 after a spinneroonie, I should say. So he does a spinneroonie to slow it down. Jericho and Flair start slowing him down. Booker T goes for the Harlem Hangover. Booker T goes up for the Harlem Hangover, and Triple H sees this, so he pushes Shawn into the ropes. But as he does, because Shawn's decided to be Shawn, and he's wearing these poppy trousers, the pops all go on the trousers, and like Benny Hill, his trousers just fall down, but he's got big white pants. It's like a comedy sketch. It's brilliant. Just fall down. He's got his big white pants.
He's trying to do them back. Just wear normal jeans.
Why have you got to wear them?
They got to wear black and white trousers as well.
Yeah, but why not just have some like tracky bottoms instead of ones that have bottom? They're clearly like stripper pants.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Second scissors kick, but Jericho is in to clock him with the belt. So Shawn sees the belt. He doesn't see the shot. He sees the belt, so he won't count because he says, well, you obviously hit him with the belt.
You pulled off my trousers.
Booker T covers now, but Jericho and Flair are in to attack the ref. So the match, presumably, is done. Nash is out.
Oh, God. Here he comes. He's walking.
Triple H tries to convince Nash that it was HBK who kicked him. So Triple H kicked Shawn first, and because Nash is trying to stop him fighting.
Is this two kids having a go at each other? The father's just going, who started? He started.
Well, either way,
he pulled my trousers down.
Either way, the father in this instance gets kicked in the balls by Triple H. And we go into Backlash. with Nash being pissed off, which, when I said about obvious booking and knowing where it's going to go from there, just remember that. Thoughts on the second title match for Booker, which ended... Well, mine's still going on.
Yeah, I think it's got to finish here. I loved the match.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought the crowd was into it. I thought they did really well. And then his trousers exploded. The crowd were laughing. So everything goes to shit from that moment. Because then it's the belt spot. We don't really know how to finish this match.
They ain't got clear.
So we just don't. I'm sure Vince just went, we're going to finish this. And Vince probably just stood up and went, we don't. Nash. It's like, what the fuck?
Get out there.
So the whole ending is comical and a bit shit. I don't really like that they've blew the Triple H's Valdez colours to the mast. I'm not on here. It's pay-per-view. But it's a bit weird. But the match itself is really good until his trousers explode, and then you're just laughing.
Ruined by trousers. Strange that you say that in a wrestling podcast. The match just spoiled by trousers falling down.
To be honest, the more you watch it, the more you think, is this a joke that maybe Sean did on purpose to make Nash laugh?
Oh, maybe.
Because it's the click aid, so Triple H was the one who pushed him. His trousers fell off. Nash is probably tittering in the back.
I mean, the fact that we would even consider that could possibly be a thing is the problem with wrestling in a nutshell.
It is.
What the fuck?
I hope it was, and it was like a proper
accident.
Complete accident. It could be, though, considering Sean kind of tried to no-sell it by trying to put his trousers back on. But why would you wear these pop trousers when there is a chance of that happening?
I just feel so bad for Booker T because he's had 2 title matches, and one time when talking about Triple H, taking
forever
things
to
into his, and then the other one we're talking about someone's trousers falling down. At this point, I think the bloom is off the road.
It's gone from racism to slapstick comedy. In 2 months.
That's what I mean, yeah. Definitely. That's what I'm saying.
Gold Dust. What's happened to him? Hurricane's Gold Dust digivolved into Hurricane.
You've gone from Jim Davidson to Ben Hill. That's what you've done.
What a run.
Madness. Right, we're here. The final match. Because I promise you, it doesn't carry on after this. It's Backlash 2003, and it is a 6-man tag. So early on in the night, they've they're friends again now. Booker T and Nash and Sean.
They have a promo backstage.
Yeah, they don't even reference the fact that they were never at some point not friends. And Nash basically says, I want Triple H, so he's really angry about Triple H.
You know your place.
Yeah. We get the ring walks, and we're ready. Triple H and Nash start us off, but he quickly tags out to Jericho. Sean tags in, so it'll be Jericho and Sean to start us off. HBK chant as he handles Jericho's chops and trades near falls. Jericho teases the walls, but he's spun away. Nash is in, he clocks Jericho down. He throws Jericho out and deals with Flair, asking Triple H to come in. Booker T is in, he hits his Alabama slam for a 2. Triple H is in as Booker T is cornered. Booker T hits a short arm version of the sidekick, but he's face planted as he ducks his head. Booker T and Triple H trade shots as Lawler continues to be a smart ass about Booker T's past.
I think it was a Trojan horse.
He's gone, Lawler. He's gone.
He's done.
Don't worry about it
It's
anymore.
dashed now.
There's a big arm spine buster, but Flair misses his elbow and Sean is in. Takes out all the heels with flying forearms. He actually hits the Sweet Chin music as well, but then he's hit with a pedigree. When Sean takes the pedigree, he never jumps.
No,
He just lets him just run. That's it.
I'm worried about my trousers.
Sean is now in trouble and he's double teamed in the corner. Triple H hits his Harley Race like knee, but Booker T makes the save. Flair goes for his figure 4, but it's reversed.
Could have done the Indian death lock that word.
Oh, God. Flair keeps Sean in the ring though. Jericho and then Triple H work over Sean with holds. Triple H uses a steel post to work the leg of Shawn. We know what he should have used. Shawn's leg is worked over by Flair, but Shawn manages to hit an enziguri to build the hot tag. Nash makes the hot tag, which again shows you where we are. Takes out everyone with big shots, big slams. The crowd are a little flat. Flair chops at Nash, but it does nothing. Booker T handles Flair. Jericho clotheslines out Booker. Coach now says...
Well, Kevin Nash able to toss off Y2J.
Nash is able to toss off Jericho. Cheers, the
Hey.
Nash teases the jackknife, but Jericho missile drop kicks him away. Everyone's in. Big scissor kick, but Booker T stands alone. Spinneroonie, which does probably get the biggest pop of the match so far. Flair takes his top rope bump. Sweet Chin is lined up, but there's no sorry I love you here as Jericho hits the Bulldog. Figure 4 is locked in. Jericho hits a lion salt finally onto Shawn, who's in the figure 4. Outside, Nash and Triple H carry on doing their own shit. Now, I could have sworn Nash puts him through the table.
No, that was Judgment Day.
But he doesn't. He doesn't spot what's going on, so he gets in. He hits snake eyes to Jericho. The ref bump spot is so painful to watch because it's so bloody clear what's going to happen. It leads to Nash hitting the jackknife. Triple H grabs the sledgehammer, and once again, Triple H wins because he clocks Nash with the sledgehammer, and he covers Nash, doesn't he?
I think he does,
I think he does. So the Booker T podcast ends with Triple H covering Kevin Nash. And that's all she wrote on that. Booker T basically moves on to the IC title feud.
He's put in the battle royal even though he's never been an IC champ. So you think he's going to win it. They do the fake out where you think he's won. The refs do. Why they got multiple refs, I don't know. And then Christian wins it, and that's the feud.
Yeah. Thoughts on that match?
Far too long for me.
It was so long.
It's always the thing with Triple H. I've got to have the longest.
Like 17, it was the longest match with 17 minutes and something, and it's so much filler. I hated the fact that Nash got in early. I thought I don't mind starting, and then he turns out, and then Nash
and then keep him away.
But then he gets snug in. He's the next one tagged in and beats up Jericho. And I'm like, well, you should be the one that we're going to build to you as. Oh my God, here comes the Terminator man. And then
comes the rat.
The match itself, they don't do anything particularly bad, but it's just so long to get to
Nash
this shit finish of Triple H does the sledgehammer and he pins Nash. Why am I pinning Nash? You can pin if you're done with Booker, pin Booker. If you're done with Shawn, pin Shawn. Why am I pinning Nash?
Yeah, I don't get it, especially when you know that he's the next contender.
What's the next match? Why am you pinning Nash? I don't need to see you get a visual cheating win over Nash. Just pin Booker. Yeah. Put a pin in it. I've beat Booker. We've done with him. Keep Nash strong. It's a 6-man. He ain't going to take the fucking offence.
Just said everything that I literally wrote there. I thought the match was pretty long. It wasn't bad because they're all so good in the ring.
Nash,
even Nash did what he needed to do. He probably is overexposed at this point. Like Nash,
he's only been back for a week.
No, but I mean in terms of since Diesel, he's probably been too overexposed. Like he's the kind of character that needs to come in and go away, and he's definitely
go away a bit later.
Well, yeah, that's because he's quad.
Because of the rush.
He's quad blows again now, don't
No, he goes because he has his hair shaved because he's in the Punisher as the Russian. That's why he cut his hair short. He's in the chain.
He feuds with Jericho, don't he?
Yeah, he feuds with Jericho
with his short hair.
That's how they kind of blow it off.
Well, they sort of turn him heel in that.
In
Jericho
a way,
cuts his hair.
Jericho cuts Nash's hair, but it was sort of a thing of I've got a movie role. I need to cut my hair.
Party like a Russian.
And he actually gets stabbed in that film properly.
Yeah, which we will have to do at some point. But yes, there you go. That's it. Booker T's moved on
Thanks for coming.
to the IC title, and never again will we consider Booker T a main event star until John Cena has destroyed the heel roster. Overall thoughts on the Booker T storyline then? I think we probably covered it today.
Pretty sad, really. Yeah. This is one real run at the big belt until he turns heel. As a babyface, this is one real run, and he's just he never felt like he was it never made me believe he was going to be world champion.
I mean, he ain't Rock, but this was his chance to sort of slot into that Rock spot where we knew he was going to lose.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was in the wrong order.
Well, yeah,
with his own feud. I mean, when Kevin Nash appeared, then it's just like, all right.
Well, there it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
The feud now. So, round table then, match of the run.
See, I want to go with the world title match with Shawn as the ref, but the whole finish is just a debacle. It's hard to pick that. So I'm going to go with that, even though it's still going on. I'm going to go with that match.
I'm going to go with the Goldust Booker T versus Flair and Triple H because of the promo after it and because of the blade job. Not because of the match, because I don't think any match was that good. I think that was probably the best singles match, though. I mean.
I'd probably go for that. I really wanted to go for the other world title match just because of Sean's thing. But I think if you look at it serious match, it would be the Booker T and Goldust match.
Yeah. Worst match, I think this will be unanimous.
The Backlash match. The Mania match.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be unanimous, and then it wasn't, and now it might be again.
The two
It's the Mania match.
Yeah, Mania as well. I mean, as much as the Judgment Day is bad, I can't really judge it based on this podcast bad. Yeah. If it was for the Kevin Nash podcast, which we might do again, who knows?
We will. There's a few of them.
Yeah. MVP?
The Indian Death Lock.
Brilliant. Yeah, give it to that. Gold. Brilliant. That's the genius MVP. I'll give it to Booker then, because none of us have. But yeah, there's no doubting that the Indian Deathlock is. Or Sean's pants.
No, that's the LVP. That is. They couldn't stay up.
LVP?
Sean's dress.
I'm going to go for Nash because I think he's so uninteresting as a top babyface when you've got Cena on the rise, Ray's just around now. You've got so many better. I know them on SmackDown, but just looking at the top baby faces, Nash. If
Raw
Nash is going to be,
Raw had all the older ones, but SmackDown.
But if Nash
that's
is
why
going to
Paul
be around,
Heyman was fucking SmackDown.
I think Nash is a heel.
He is a heel.
You know what I mean?
Or he could be either, really. He's just a big bloke.
But I think if you're going to do it, I don't think top baby face you need.
I don't think it works with Triple H. He ain't the one. He needs a Flair, a Shawn sort of bloke.
Or a Jericho, like he was a bit later.
Yeah,
not Triple H. LVP for me. I mean, you could say Booker, really.
Yeah, good for it.
So I'm gonna.
Paul Booker, you got MVP for me and LVP for you. How's that work?
They win the belt.
No, I can't disagree with that. So we now take the, I think, fairly easy. Mine's that, but yeah, it's only a couple of months. We take the easy task, I think, to just make this work a little bit better, and I guarantee you we will all do the same thing at WrestleMania 19. So I'll start with Sam and see his version of WrestleMania 19.
Right, I'll go with what I said earlier. Don't make this about racism.
Yep.
Just leave that.
You've already improved it.
Yeah. Making about him being a champ during WCW is dying.
Yeah.
As I said, yes, you got the world champ, but look what happened to the company after.
Yeah.
You'd got it. And you can drop in. You lost it to Russo at one point.
Yeah.
So, you could do all that. You're not on my level.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was me next now.
Yeah.
Booker T's past, you could probably do that to give him a bit more of a babyface coming back from adversity, he's, do all that, but don't have Lawler keep bringing it up. Just shut up. Let JR do it. You shut up. Look at the tits.
That's all that Lawler needs.
Look at the tits. Yeah, but then you can have Triple H say he's not really a world champ because of his past. All that. Booker would win at Mania.
Yeah.
Because he has to.
Yes.
God's sake. And that way, I think Triple H's run might have been looked at a little bit more favourably than it did drop the belt in the middle of it. Having keep the belt until Backlash. This is where I was trying to think of my Steiner rebooking. Because I know I had Steiner feud with Booker. Because you can have then Steiner say, Booker took his moment in history being the last WCW World Champion. By beating him.
Don't you book out of existence Steiner retest?
See, I can't remember if I did that when it first debuted or whether I did it here. I can't remember how I did that. Because I know his last matches, him and Rick Steiner with the Dudleys at Mania 20, because that's what he does. Steiner.
Okay, in your rebook.
In my rebook. But at this point, I definitely think Booker and Steiner is a good feud to have. Steiner is not a face.
Raw, I think it is.
Steiner's not a face.
No, gosh,
He's
no.
a heel.
Never a bit more
See our
attention to
podcast for that. Boom shakalaka and all that. So that would be the feud. He would cost him at Backlash, so then Triple H can win it. And if you want to have Nash, then you can move Triple H into that. You keep Booker T quite high on the card. You kind of keep Steiner high on the card because they can be like, again, for Raw, because, SmackDown don't really care about it. But that's how you would do. It gives him a title run, which he needed because at least it keeps his steam.
Yeah.
You get rid of all the unnecessary nonsense. You keep the good bits and try and do them in the right order.
Yeah.
And again, you spin it off into a different feud instead of just fizzling out for Kevin Nash.
I agree completely. Well, mine then, pretty short one, pretty sweet. Changes I would make then, Battle Royal leading up to it. I would have skits in the build up to it where Evolution are discussing different tactics. First of all, it'll be about Steiner, then about Kane, then about Rock, and then the final skit will be about them saying, well, what should we do about Booker T? And Triple H laughing off, like, what about Booker T? He'll get thrown about by Rodney Mack. Who cares? And then Booker T would win, and I'd have that as the last skit.
Would he throw out Rodney Mack?
I've got no problem with the Battle Royal. I'd probably keep Jamal in with Rosie. That's about the only thing I would do.
They'd keep him.
But I've got no issues with that. So then it would be exactly the same as you, Sam, shitting on Booker T's accomplishments. He's won the WCW World title.
Although his fifth reign was in the WWF. That's when he won his fifth WCW title.
Who did he win that?
Angle beat him when he come in.
Then he realised that.
So he's technically four-time WCW champion.
He'd be shitting on his accomplishments for being a WCW champion anyway. I would have the tag match. I would have the tag match happen early, but I wouldn't have the blood at this point. I'd just have him beat Triple H, so Triple H starts to have to re-strategise, and I'd have Booker T get into the mindset of Triple H being soft because he took the title rather than winning the title, saying you've never actually beat anyone for that title.
He beat Shaw.
Did it?
Yeah, he dropped it at Survivor Series 1 of that.
I forgot about that.
Just book that out of existence.
But I would talk about the fact that he, ultimately was given the title.
And if you've never pinned anyone, you would in a ladder match.
There you go. You've never pinned anyone.
You just grab it.
So the build would just be about trading Booker T being streetwise and Triple H being overconfident. 1 week he might get the upper hand, Booker T get the upper hand the next week. At Mania I'd have Booker T win, and I would have the spot where Triple H is being cajoled by Ric Flair.
Cajoled?
Cajoled, like. And he tells Ric Flair nobody told Booker T that he couldn't, achieve his dreams. Yeah. Because I really like that spot, and I think it should be highlighted more. So Booker T versus Triple H is set up with Backlash, with Shawn getting involved and Jericho getting involved. I'd have a twin referee match, one inside, one out.
Oh, I thought you meant two Leibners again.
Triple H, Jericho would have to have plastic surgery to look like Shawn. One inside, one out. In the build, Triple H would remind Booker T about Shawn calling him the problem in the NWO, just to keep that going.
It was only last year.
And he'd say he knows Shawn, and he'd say him and Shawn have always run this place, so it's in Shawn's interests if I've got the title, not you.
Well, he's always after the belt.
Yeah. In the match, Booker T would have it won, but Jericho would pull out Shawn. Jericho would set Shawn up for a chair shot, but Nash would appear, stop the chair shot, lay out Jericho, size up Triple H, who is angry. Basically, Nash would swing the chair, clock in Booker T. Triple H would win. Jericho would count the pin, and then the build to Judgment Day would be Booker T not trusting his partners who are in the clique, because the clique are constantly being teased. He's got Nash and Shawn, but he doesn't trust them. And I'd have Booker T walk out on the match and move to SmackDown because he can't trust Raw because he thinks it's going to be run by the clique. Now, one way, either way, the clique rules both sides of the coin.
Run Raw.
And the reason I would do that is because I think if you can make Booker T slightly petulant, you can move him to be a heel to feud with Brock Lesnar, or if the plan is to keep Brock Lesnar as turning back to being a heel, I think he can feed Brock Lesnar a bit more, or even Angle. I think he'd probably be higher. Ironically, he'd probably be higher up the card
On
than
SmackDown.
on SmackDown.
Yeah, he
than
would have.
here.
He fit with SmackDown.
Yeah.
Same as RVD, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they didn't move him later on, but they moved everybody else over.
Yeah, everyone just moved around.
Oh God!
So yeah, that's how I would do. Jack, your turn.
Week 1.
I ain't doing a battle royal.
Oh.
Because I don't think it's WrestleMania, and I
What
don't.
about Rodney Mack?
Well, I don't. It's WrestleMania. I don't think you should. Even though I know they ain't gonna
You
win.
think because it's too close to Rumble?
No, I just think it's WrestleMania. Don't tell me that Lance Storm's got a chance of main event in WrestleMania because he's not.
Yeah, but what about
I know the Rumble.
He
I know
had
the
a chance
Rumble is
in the
there.
Rumble.
But so
Well,
I'm
it's
doing.
like saying, someone Ken Patera's got a chance at winning a big trophy at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but he won't main event.
So I'm doing a Champions 6-pack challenge. So former world champions to get a shot
Nice.
at
Oh yeah,
the
Booker
world.
T.
So Booker T, Scott Steiner,
Yeah.
Jericho,
Yeah.
Kane, Shawn, and Rock
Okay.
in this 6-pack challenge. Booker T wins this 6-pack challenge.
Is it now over
It's
the
a
top or
pin-
is it pin?
pin
Yeah.
on the Rock? Obviously, Austin's going to have a say in this.
Yeah.
Naughty boy.
even if he's winning,
he has to come. Week after the promo between Booker T and Triple H, there's less racism. There's more childhood. There's more never won a title.
There's more childhood.
Well, he's going to talk about his title, then
Yeah.
he's going to say, you've never won a singles title in WWE, you've been here for what, a year, 2 years? I know he won the
Something in 2 years, I think.
2 years, you've never won a singles title, you've only won a
That's right.
tag with Goldust and Test. The closest you're ever going to get to Gold is hanging around with that freak, which is Goldust.
Oh,
So again,
that's a good line.
the Goldust. I'm a good writer. So it's Booker T and Goldust versus Triple H and Flair in a tag match, not at Mania. Booker T
Can
and
you imagine
Goldust
if
win.
that was the Mania match?
Booker and Goldust win. I know Booker beat Flair. But then, there's no Evolution, so I can't use Evolution. So, 3-minute warning, they're going to lay out Booker and Goldust.
Makes sense, they're the hired
Because
guns,
they
yeah.
are the hired gun people.
Hired guns.
Booker
Red
is
Rico
going
on
to
this?
fight 3-minute warning on his own the week after, because Triple H and Flair can take out Goldust. And Booker's going to win. And then the beatdown. WrestleMania is here. WrestleMania 19, Booker T wins the title, as he should.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? Raw after WrestleMania, Booker T is going to come out to celebrate. Shawn is going to come out. He wants a top match, he won last night. Booker T is going to say, I'm fan champion, I'm babyface fan champion. Fan champion. Don't think I forget about this. Sucka! Think about it. Forget about the NWO. Sucka! And then Booker T versus Shawn is a no contest when Triple H, Y2J, and Flair all lay them out. Then stand tall the week after Booker and Shawn against Triple H and Jericho. Of course, Booker and Shawn win after the match. There's a beatdown, of course there is. It's Monday Night Raw. Jericho is going to beat up Shawn. Triple H is going to beat up Booker T. And then Triple H is going to pedigree Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And stand tall after the show.
Fatal
Why
four-way.
am I your friend? I'm not. Backlash. 4-way for the title. Booker, Jericho, Triple H, Shawn. Booker wins. Defeats Triple H.
Okay.
I probably haven't beat Triple H because I'm moving Booker into a feud with Y2J in a one-on-one. Shawn and Triple H are going to have a big man inserted into their feud, which is Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
And that is where I'm going after Backlash.
And you're moving Booker into a feud with Jericho.
Jericho.
As
And
champ.
then, well, I'd probably have him eventually lose to Goldberg. And
Face.
Yeah,
But,
because then I'd have him turn heel because Goldberg's the new toy for the fans.
Did you have a feud with Goldberg?
I never gave a thought.
Not even in WCW.
Well, there was about face all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
There you go.
except in the New Blood.
Well, that's shit. We might talk about the New Bloods in a future podcast.
now.
But there you have it, folks. If you believe that you could have rebooked Booker T versus Triple H at Mania 19 or Booker T's whole feud with Triple H differently, let us know on our website, which is bettercallcreative.com. Our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCC pod, or our Twitter, It is at BCC Pod. We round out the episode, as we always do, with a fantasy card. And as Booker T was the breakout star, no doubt about that, of One Harlem Heat, we have challenged each other to take a current tag team in the world of wrestling.
That confused me at the beginning, so I put Booker T to reply to. I went, oh, hang on, it's current tag team.
Yeah.
And even then, that was odd.
Well, yeah, it's not. There's not a lot of tag teams about. It's especially, I mean, it's probably easy for Jack, who watches every product that there is. But it's a lot harder.
I got one from our product.
Oh, good.
Good one.
But we'll decide who the breakout star is, and we'll be putting them against a top wrestler from any era. So, Jack, as you rounded out our rebooking, you can open the fantasy.
Match 1, it's John Cena. He's the star. Not the tag man.
Yeah, we're too bold now, isn't he?
Versus, I don't know, he's like an egg in an S70s.
Versus Chris Bay.
Oh, from the Bullet Club.
Impact Wrestling Bullet Club.
Okay. Is he going to be a star? You're going to make him a star!
I'm going to make you a star! And keeping with the thing, they're all going to lose. So the stars win.
Yeah.
All right.
Slow AA.
Yeah.
Mine.
Does it have to do that?
Mine will have very, very much a bias towards the one product that I do watch every now and again. So my opener will be Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. Because I do think they could have done way more than just Jey going, I'm all right now. There you go.
Well, they did have the feud at the beginning, don't they?
Yeah, but I think this was the time to build Jey and just
yeah.
No,
but what would you do with Jimmy?
I don't care about Jimmy. I just want Jey. But I'm going to put over Rob. They've got to put Jimmy with Rikishi.
He might do a switch.
I'm my favourite.
Exactly.
So you, Solo. Poor Solo. Right, my first one is Dax Harwood, because I think he kind of already is, versus CM Punk. Just because that's probably going to happen.
I'd love that.
That's for the
match. It'll end with a kiss.
A masturbatory Bret Hart match.
Yeah.
Well, I think Punk could go over some, I think he did.
Well, if you know,
with a victory roll.
No, I think he'd be alright with Dax.
I think they'll already fought. But
have they?
on AEW.
Probably. Everyone's fought on AEW now, isn't it?
Yeah. Match 2. Trish Stratus. Oh, I don't with the women. Versus Kenzie Page.
From the... I forgot the names and I watched it this morning.
Pretty
Empowered. Is it the 2.0 one?
No.
That was the first one. There's the little one, eh?
Yeah.
Keep getting them wrong.
Trish wins. You don't know who it is, but...
yeah.
You know
They am
Trish.
quite good.
Who's Trish?
She's
What is wrestling?
She's in the six-woman team there with the two red in.
There's the break out of that team.
Well, I mean, I've gone NXT 2.0 anyway in my next one, because Steve Austin is the star. No, he is not NXT 2.0, by the way.
Versus Robbie Fowler.
It is versus Rick Fowler, yeah.
Or Jay.
One, because anyone who uses Robbie Fowler as a reference in their name deserves to make a fantasy card.
And Rip from...
yeah. But I do like him. I must admit, I haven't watched his stuff for the last year, but... I remember.
He shaved his beard and lost an eye.
Yeah, since he lost an eye.
Since everybody no longer take their shoe off because they ate it.
Yeah. Austin would obviously go over.
Yeah, otherwise he wouldn't turn up. My next one, a few of these there were WWE eccentric.
Yeah.
It's Montez Ford v Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because I think we can probably agree he is a top star.
Yeah, he's well, if they don't, we'll be doing a future podcast.
Yeah. What could have been? And Sami Zayn will probably win. But Montez Ford will be up there soon.
Oh, Montez Ford will be a world champion.
Yeah, poor Angela.
I'd be surprised if all of us haven't got Montez Ford.
Yeah. Match 3.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Is he a tag?
Versus Chad Gable. Kurt Angle wins.
I'm going to say which team.
Yeah, I might as
What we
well.
noticed,
That is my
Jason
main
Jordan.
event, so I'll make it my match 3. Then Chad Gable versus Kurt Angle.
Angle.
And I'll put Kurt Angle over. I mean, what a match that could have been if they was both.
They did do it. But
I know,
Angle
but
was fat.
Angle
and we
was on
will,
his last.
and we will be checking it out in a future podcast.
And he was wearing a glove.
Glove angle. What an angle.
My next one is Jey Uso v The Rock.
Yeah.
Rock.
Rock would probably win.
And he ain't turning up for Mania to fight Roman.
You put it over Jay. Fucking tag player.
That did it for The Rock.
I think Solo's going makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
But
Match 4. Brock Lesnar, or I'll put Lesnar,
For some reason.
Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
versus Julius Creed, who is on NXT 2.0. Creed Brothers,
Oh yeah,
Diamond Mine.
yeah.
It's not Brutus Ball who does the thing off the top, it's Julius Creed.
Is Roderick's
Who they will
come
push.
back? Because I know they
Yeah.
beat him up, don't they? Is he gone from WWE or is he
We
just
don't know.
injured forever?
Still employed. But Brock wins.
Brock.
Of course.
My next match is Shawn Michaels versus Ray Phoenix because I really like Ray Phoenix, but I'm going to put over Shawn Michaels.
My next one is Eddie Guerrero versus Mecha Wolf.
Ooh.
You know, he there.
I think I've seen
Is,
him.
is the tag champs with basically say.
Yeah,
They're the NWA tag champs. Are they?
I think I have seen him.
It's Damien's son and
Yeah.
not him. He's Mecha Wolf. But Eddie would win.
I think I have seen him.
Yeah.
I want to see him now. It's called Mecha Wolf.
Becky Lynch versus Caden Carter.
Oh
NXT
yeah,
2.0.
I know where is.
They were the tag champs for a while.
Huh?
Yeah,
With
her
breakout
and
stuff.
Casey Catanzaro.
Well, that's why I booked it.
Well, I can't call
Becky
you on
wins.
this, can I?
No, you can't.
Unlike
You
Big
can't
Dick
say
Dudley.
that.
Big Dick Dudley is not.
Yeah, if I put Mosh, then you can go, yeah, well, Mosh, fucking hell. Come on.
He would have been the breakout star. My match, sub-main event is Bret Hart versus, I'm going to call him Pete Dunne, because I have no Butch.
It's Butch.
It's not Butch.
Butch and Luke.
I think Luke's the breakout star there.
I'm going to put over Bret.
My next one is Roman Reigns v Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
You can't choose that. His partner's dead.
Well, he's got to be
It's
the
still
breakout
the tag
now.
champs.
And he's got to break out from that.
So that one I thought I've got to have the Briscoes.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Where you at?
well, I have.
Bad taste.
Look, I have in King Young Bucks. So it's Roman and win.
No one wants the young book.
No.
Main event, Rock
You wait till you
v.
win this.
Rock v. Montez Ford. I think he's got the same probably. Because we have a similar way of thinking in this. And Rock will go over, obviously.
Yeah, well, I'll put Montez Ford over there, but I've got Montez Ford versus The Rock.
Right, my next one, main event, because this was the last one I could do, is John Cena v The Butcher.
Ah! I knew you'd look
Butcher.
the Butcher.
Yeah.
He's such a you boy, isn't he? Look at the state of him. No,
She breaking.
I love it.
Yeah, but he could do like a
He's just you, it's your breakout.
monster. So, and Cena would win because he's
Butcher
bigger
and Mecha.
I mean,
You have a weird
who the hell would come up with a gimmick?
Look at the
Push him
blade,
out,
he
call
ain't
the
a blade,
Butcher
he's
the
a
Butcher.
twig.
But there you have it. If you agree that the Butcher, who
I keep thinking he looks like he's Silas Young.
he
I
looks
keep
like a
getting
bloke
confused.
who probably will be in a metal band. Let's
I
face
think he is.
He is.
I know.
He is. Oh,
That's the point.
Well, he ain't anymore.
I think
Hey.
they're split up there then.
Split up,
But
what,
yeah.
the tag or the band?
If you agree with Sam and think that the Butcher should be a breakout star, so much of a breakout star that he headlines a fantasy card,
He was the
let us
last
know.
one that I did, by the way.
Let us know on our website, which is bettercallcreative.com, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCCpod, or our Twitter, which is @BCCpod. So that starts off our WrestleMania run, and we'll be checking out a WrestleMania from the past in our next episode as we fly back to 1988. And what better way to crown a new world champion than to have a tournament full of people that are not going to be world champions. Hey, looking forward to discussing a hell of a lot of Bob Uecker or Uecker.
When I watched this, I forgot this happened. I thought he just did the thing backstage.
No,
with RJ, but
he
no,
did.
No, he was there.
Hell of a lot.
Yes.
And after we've done that, we'll be doing a we'll be doing a Wrestle Cup to decide what is the worst WrestleMania main event of all time. Right, on a hazard a guess what that might be?
Have we already done that?
No.
Oh, I thought we had.
We recorded it next with the Angle one.
Oh, okay. It's probably going to be Hogan Sid.
Well, it's like, I imagine.
Or Hogan Yoko.
Or Hogan Slaughter. Or Hogan Bundy.
Triple H Roman.
Triple H. It'll probably feature Hogan, though.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
And we will stop our WrestleMania tour with the end of Kurt Angle's WWE's career as we check out
Kurt Angle, my friend.
Kurt Angle's retirement tour.
Yeah, we'll be looking at the retirement tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big gold.
At least, though, what I like about that.
Hold on.
What I like about that, though, is he gets the rub to Baron Corbin and look at him now. So yes, we'll be checking out Kurt
That's
Angle.
why you wore that glove.
But that leaves me to say from Jack Chance.
Goodbye.
And from Sam Chance.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, folks.
It's the Booker Man, y'all. Can you dig it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. Can you dig it? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Can you dig it? Yeah. Can you dig it, sucker? Yeah. Can you dig it? Yeah, it's all real. You can find me center stage, center of attention. Booker T's here like Vin Diesel's triple accent. On the count of 3, I want y'all to spit it. 1, 2, 3, can you dig it, sucker? Yeah, doing it like it go. Doing it like a G.O. go, baby. Can you dig it? Can you dig it, sucker? Time to champ, more the man. Hey, stuff with me, not a good plan. I gotta show the world a better way for the youth. All eyes on me, cause Booker T the truth. Wherever you stay, wherever you at, Booker T put it down, man, as simple as that. Yeah, Booker ain't hating, ain't dissing a thing. No more drama in my life, feel the vibe I bring. Can you dig it? Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, can you dig it? Hit it. Let's break up out of here, man. Can you dig it? School. Yeah, we're gonna break it down. Can you dig it? Yeah. Here we go. Don't be fooled, because he proved Booker T's the type to come and speak at your school. Wherever you at, I talk it like I walk it like I live it. And if you know the words, hit it. Can you dig it? Yeah, sucker. Can you dig it? Break it down. What? Can you dig it? What? Yeah. Can you dig it? One time for your mind. Hit it. Ever since all of these. Hard to beat. Yeah, cause it's 5 times. Plus 5 times, y'all. You wanna get down. You in the hottest, y'all. And when you lay down, you're gonna stay down. You wanna know about my life? It's an open book. Most can't make it down the road I took. Yeah. Booker made a change in his life just like Mace. Now Booker get respect when it come into play. Can you dig it? Yeah, coming right at you. Can you dig it? Can you dig it, sucker? Can you dig it? Can you dig that, man? Can you dig it? 1, 2, 3. Man, this ain't about guns and drugs and little thugs. It's about making it better for little cuz. Can you dig it, sucker? Understand the way Booker's so humble in this concrete jungle. Right or wrong or rumble, till the wrong tumble. From giants to midgets, can y'all dig it? Larger than life, but it's no movie. And I'm the true master of the spin of Rooney. Can you dig it, sucker? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? All right, Jimmy, let's break it up, man. Let's spin them up. Yeah, cause we gotta get out of here. I got a flight to catch, man. I gotta get out of here, man. You know, spin them up. Let's go. Yeah, crank that volume up a little bit. Crank it up. Yeah. Hold on a second. Before you get started.